Making Deer and Wild Game Chilies. William Hovey Smith, 2018. I'm the author of Backyard Deer Hunting, and here we're revisiting one of my old chili recipes from years ago. This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman, and we have some deer meat in the house now that I have killed a deer. And here is a little buck that goes into this chili, and the pistol I took it with, and you can watch this video as well. And this is a rainy day. It has been raining all day, and it will continue to rain all day. So this is an excellent day to make some deer chili. Now, I have had videos before about making deer chili, but it's been a while. So there are some hundreds of videos back. So we're going to revisit that and show you how we do it with our own Hovey's Knives of China knives. Yes, sir. Now, first off, we have gathered the necessary ingredients. And this consists of course, frozen deer burger. This is about a 1.5 pound package, I would say. Then, we have 2 cans. These are crushed tomatoes. And these are red kidney beans. Now, typically in chili, red beans are used, but they could be any number of kinds of beans. This is a dried red kidney bean right here. Dried beans should be pre-cooked. If you don't, it just takes much longer to get the chili done. You could also use pinto beans or speckled beans, or any other kind of beans, or even do a variation with mixed beans, such as these. All can make a chili. Of course, one needs some chili powder. Well, freely available in any store in North America, you can buy chili powder. And you're going to need some pepper, blues, salt, blues, and garlic, and most especially onions. And this is a nice big onion, and I'll use the whole thing in this batch of chili. I don't think you can put too many onions in chili. And over here we have some discounted vegetables, and these include some Roma tomatoes, some regular tomatoes, and one that's not quite ripe, and a couple of avocados. Well, all these tomatoes are going to be cut up and put in the chili as well. All right? So the first thing we have to do is actually brown some deer burger. It takes approximately 4 hours at room temperature to thaw one of these packages of burger. Well, I sent one out this morning that is mostly thawed. So we're going to go ahead and cut up some onions, and brown that burger together. As it turns out, we have this rather moth-eaten piece of celery left over from Thanksgiving. And so we're going to go ahead and use this and just cut off this dried end here. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just dried up a little bit. So this is going to give a little added flavor to the chili, and you probably won't even know it's there. Okay, that be done. And so to do a little peeling here. And get down to the real onion. Now, if I were fastidious, all of these peelings would actually go in the stock pot on the back of the stove. But I don't happen to have one going right now, although I often do. So these will be discarded temporarily. And so now we proceed to slice some slices and go ahead and dice up our onion. This knife has a bevel on both sides, and that's why the blade wants to cut at a wedged angle like this. I only put the edge on one side and make them right and left-handed. This is also beveled on both sides. And the way it chops is like this. Each time it touches, it cuts everything flat. Okay. That is ready to go in the frying pan. And our thawed meat is as well. We're now about getting there. You can see that there's moisture here coming both from the vegetables, the onions, as well as from the meat itself. And this is where you want to start adding your seasonings. This includes chili powder, and that is about 1/3 of this container full. That is about a full heaping teaspoonful of salt. And you work these in together while you still have moisture running around in your pan. And I've also turned the heat down so it's not cooking quite as fast as it was. And it's starting to smell good. And my resident hound dog has become interested. Okay, now this stage is done. So I'm going to switch it over to a coal eye, so it won't overcook, and dispose of my waste paper and blood. We're now going to start building our chili in the crock pot. And I've already added 1 can of kidney beans and 1 can of diced tomatoes. And since I'm going to be adding fresh tomatoes, I think that's more than enough tomatoes. But we will use a 2nd can of kidney beans. Or, if you had used dried beans, this would be about the time you would put them in there. This is an old crock pot, probably 1970s or thereabouts. And we're now going to add our browned meat. To complete the dish, I'm going to take these ripe tomatoes and go ahead and dice them up and put them in as well. The end of these tomatoes, we're starting to show a little mold, so I've cut that away. But the interior of the tomatoes are fine, as you can see. They're just a little overripe. I prefer Roma tomatoes because their skin is a little firmer and I get a little extra texture with it. So this amounts to not quite a can of tomatoes, but it's close enough. Now, this can go in our goodie pot here. Okay, now this is your chili in the making. We'll start it off on high and let it get to be a boil, and then we'll turn it down. I have recipes in all of my outdoor books, including backyard deer hunting, crossbow hunting, practical bow fishing, and more elaborate recipes in extreme muzzleloading. My newest book is a business book. Create your own job security. Plan to start your own business at midlife. And I show you exactly how to do that, and we'll have more to say about that at the end of the video. Well, our chili here has been bubbling away for some hours now, and almost all of the ingredients were already cooked. So it doesn't take too long for this to cook off. But be careful when you lift the pot so you don't get scalded, because that steam is hot coming off of there. And we're going to give it a test and see how the seasonings are. And this in your chili is where you add extra salt, where you may add extra chili powder, or even a little hot sauce if you like it that way. I do a very mild chili, so anybody can eat it. It has a little bit of kick, but not too much. So we'll see how we do here. You know how the beans turned out. Because this has no fat in it, in this whole pot I'm going to add about a quarter cube of butter to sort of round the flavors out. Some pepper. And a little bit more salt. And I think that'll make it about right. Like I say, it's a little flat and it's a little what my mother would call fresh. But this is how you season chili. Now, if you haven't done it before, I hope this is a good clue of how you get started with a wild game chili. Now, any meat could have been used. It didn't necessarily have to be ground. You could have chopped it up and fried it in a pan and done it with small hunks of meat too. That would do just as well. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe. Goodbye, God bless, and see you next time. Chilies can be cooked in a variety of ways, on pots on the stove, on a campfire, or pressure cooker, using a variety of ground or diced wild game meats. For more information on my books, blogs, and more than 725 videos, you can go to www.hoveysmith.com. For information on my custom knives, go to hoveysknivesofchinablog.co. For information on my new business books, go to createyourownjobsecurity.com. Now, order your books now from Amazon and other sources for Christmas delivery. There's about a 2-month delivery time on custom cooking knives. In Create Your Own Job Security, what I advocate is that a person start a whole series of businesses to do what he needs to do at the time, at diverse times during his life. This may start off as a teenager mowing lawns, but do it like a business. When you go to college, take some business courses. But in the meantime, while you're working for the man and getting your salary and your health insurance and so on, you have your own business running quietly in the background. So in your 40s and later, if you get a sudden notice that we don't need you no more, well, guess what? You already have your own business up and running, and you do not have to conceive of it at the time when you're in the midst of the worst depression you'll probably ever have in your life. This book is available from Amazon.com and many other sources or your local bookstore.